Hello, my loves. It's Sonia G. It's the MoonBabes Monday Night Live. And I'm going to pin this. Happy Equinox to everyone. It's really a late Monday Night Live, but we're going to talk about this equinox and these energies. And if you were just barely, let's see if I can pin this comment. Maybe. There we go. Yay. If you were just barely on the Facebook Live in my Facebook group for the Equinox meditation, it is divided in two parts because the energies are so strong. I apologize for all of you that had technical difficulties coming in for some reason when I went in to do the live video. It sent me to my personal Facebook page instead of the group. That's why you guys couldn't see it. And so then I shared the video. It's now marked as an announcement. So it's part 1, and then make sure that you also do the part 2, which is a short part where you actually come back down through the astral plane. So we went all the way up. I'm going to leave the replay up. No time limit. I know a lot of you weren't able to get on, so just find it. And I hope that you really reap all the benefits from it. The portal for the equinox stays open also for the next 72 hours. And the meditation is encoded in the quantum field because whenever we go outside of space-time, you can do it anytime to receive the benefits. So I hope that you have a chance to do it at some point of this week. It will stay probably even longer until the new moon. So I have to go and look, and I'll publish more information about it. But the energies that we are dealing with, hi, my loves. I see all of you joining. Hi, hi, hi. I know a lot of you weren't able to join. It was really some technical difficulties that happened, but it is up now, and it is really powerful. And what we did is, I feel so weird looking at my eye, you guys. I had the craziest eye experience, and I can see that's why like my light is farther away than usual right now. But my eye is red, and it's my left eye, which is definitely new integration of left brain energy into my world. So know that this is normal. Hi, Judy. I am so sorry. I got your message. I tried to get you on there, and there were a lot. I apologize. A lot of people I know, I was getting messages. I see you guys coming on that weren't able to join live. So the replay is up, and it is encoded in the quantum field. And you can join in, and it will feel absolutely alive because we unlock gravity and we go up. And so what we did, okay, is because, let's talk about the equinox. What's the equinox, okay? Equinox is a moment in time that happens twice a year where the sun and the moon are in perfect balance. The sun and the day are of equal length, and the light and the darkness are in balance. And the sun crosses over the celestial equator, and the Earth's axis basically recalibrates. It's the best way that I can say it. So it's like this moment, this like 5D pillar that's open inside of the whole entire field of the Earth, because it goes from North Pole to South Pole. And if we can align our own chakra pillar, right? You guys all know this by now, that we have chakras inside of our body that follow along our spinal column, right? Our energy line. We have 7 main ones inside the body. We have many more energy centers, but we work with 7 along the spine, and then they extend up all the way and down to the core of the earth. Okay, we have 13 altogether, main ones. I'm only talking about the main ones that go outside of the body. So when we can align our own chakra pillar, our own energy field, okay, inside of our body, outside of the body, that connects us to our higher self through to, imagine kind of like it's this pillar of light, and we connect like into a bigger pillar of light. And so it's like the the best way that I have of explaining it is back to Star Trek, you know, and like in Star Trek, they say like, beam me up, Scotty. And there's this like pillar of light that takes them up. It's kind of like that. So imagine a pillar within a pillar, and you get to get really like recalibrated in this experience. And so as the earth recalibrates, if you can recalibrate with the earth, you don't feel the crazy energy as much, right? Because you're equalizing yourself with the shift of the planet. And if you don't do this work, then you feel like you're spinny. You feel like all of your shit's coming back up, all of your past stuff is coming back up, fears, like, I want to say temptations, even though that's not really the right word, more like crap you've already dealt with that you thought you were done, but it's coming back up in life. Like these kinds of things are happening. So everything is being spun back up. And in this equinox in particular, it's happening. By the way, this only happens twice a year, right? So it's a really, 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 really powerful day. So if you don't ever do work, like spiritual work, emotional work during the year, but you do it today and you do it in the spring equinox, then you are still winning. That's how powerful these 2 days are, because it's the only day of balance of the yin and the yang. Okay, so take time for you. Your spiritual, mental, emotional, physical health is more important than your work, than your 3D things, than your friends, than your bar thing, than your get together, than your family stuff, because everything depends on you being in alignment and being healthy. So take time, let everybody go to bed, stay up late. It's totally worth it. Okay, this is one of those days where the magic, it's like the magic of the universe is so easy to tap into. And that's the reason why I did a meditation that was free. So in the Facebook group, you can go catch the replay. I'm just going to leave it up indefinitely because we had so many technical issues. So make sure you catch part 1 and part 2. Okay, go in there and do the work, because if you don't know how to do it by yourself, this will guide you through. It will give you an idea. Okay, but what we did is we plugged into the Earth's axis. And so we cleared through, and it's like this vortex, and we cleared through everything that needed to be cleared out. And I know I was crying, so I don't know if you guys were crying, but I'm sure you can see it on the video, just releasing through, letting go of anything that needs to go. This equinox is more powerful because we just had Saturn going direct. Okay, Saturn is the great teacher, Lord of time. And he just went direct, and he's working with Pluto, Lord of transformation, Lord of the underworld. So basically, they're unearthing all this shit that needs to be learned from us, okay? And Saturn is like, if you've learned it, you're going to be doing great. But just in case, I just want to make sure, I'm just going to bring it up one last time with the help of Pluto. We're just going to do this thing. Make sure that you like clear it all up. And if you're ready to let it all go and, you know, go higher, go jump up, level up, upgrade, grasp the higher energy, claim the higher timelines, stop giving energy to the shit that's dragging you down, because you know it's happening. I know it is. Okay, stop feeding the lower energy fields, jump up, climb up, okay, level up, do the things that are required. I love Kundalini, I love meditation. Maybe you love something else. Do whatever works for you to get yourself there, okay? And that's what Pluto and Saturn are doing. And so when we do that together with this energy of the equinox, we're able to really shift like mountains. Like we're able to climb things and shift things that would take us maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years, right? In like one day, because we're like plugged into this cosmic flow. And another thing that is level up song. Yes. Level up, level up, level up. So, I love your guys' comments. Sorry, I see them, but I can't really go through all of them. But, so, because I have a lot of things to tell you. The other thing that's happening is, one of the nodes of the moon, I think it's the south node of the moon, is conjunct with, so the energy of the moon, which represents our subconscious, okay, is conjunct with Sirius. Sirius is the spiritual son of the earth that was revered as an ancient source of all the knowledge from our Egyptian forefathers, and the blue sun depicted in the Egyptian hieroglyphs. No, I don't have the word, but you know what I'm talking about. So what is happening is we have this ability to receive information and knowledge in the form of light geometric form. So Sirius holds 6-dimensional sacred geometry intelligence in light. And all you really need to understand of it is that it's forms and shapes of light that are light codes, and that is light encoded knowledge that we can integrate inside of our being, and it triggers things inside of us. Like all of a sudden you feel like you can't do this anymore and you have to do this, or all of a sudden you have this knowingness or this urge to learn about something, or you just know from out of nowhere that you need to do this thing, or you need to follow this path, or you need to enroll into this course, or whatever, right? Those are just like knowledge that's coming online, things that you instinctively know, right, from out of nowhere. Anyways, and then also this esoteric knowledge, this occult knowledge, this information that is really hard to explain, that's being birthed through our cells, through our energy field, to beam out, to hold higher frequencies, to hold this light, to raise the vibration of the planet together. So this is now available. So basically you can recode yourself. You know how that scientists have now found like the 3rd strand of DNA, right? If you're a light worker, you're now working well beyond that. So there's many strands of DNA that are activating, and you know, it's not junk DNA like we've been told in elementary school or whatever. And so it's all of this knowledge that's inside of us that's we're recoding. We're recoding the history, not only of our childhood and of our own wounds, but the ones of our forefathers, the ones of our family lines, the ones of our tribes, the ones of the history of our planet. Like, it's a pretty big deal to be alive on planet Earth right now. If you are here, you are not here for your 9 to 5, okay? You are not here just for your superficial daily 3D Earth matrix situations that happen in life. Yes, there are some people that, I've been asked this question recently as I was traveling in Italy. Is everybody having to wake up to this higher state of consciousness? Is everybody needing to activate to higher states of being? Is everybody moving over to 5D to 7D? Like, is everybody integrating these higher frequencies? And the truth is, no, not everybody will. Some people are actually earth-bound souls that have come here to just experience a peaceful death. They are people that just want that, like, not people, but souls that want that in their consciousness, and that is their role, because they've experienced, some souls have incarnated on earth from the beginning of time. So from right through the cycles and through reincarnation and through different lifetimes, and they've carried the burdens of generations through the darkest ages of this planet. And realistically, they've experienced death and famine and suffering and all sorts of things in very harsh ways. And so their souls are now incarnated in this lifetime just to experience peace, harmony, and like that peaceful death kind of consciousness. And I know it's hard sometimes to grasp these concepts, but that's also part of the balance of what's happening on Mother Earth right now, because some of our souls did not incarnate that many times on planet Earth. We came down for specific missions. Our energy is newer, and it's not as worked through the cycles of time. So you may have come down, if you're a starseed especially, you may not have had a significant amount of past lives on planet Earth because you're here because you answered a call from Gaia. You answered like an SOS call, right, from Gaia. And so your light incarnated here to raise the frequency and raise the vibration and to bring the planet through ascension, which means we're raising the vibration to go from 3D to 5D to 7D to 9D, etc. And that's our job. If you're a light worker, if you're a starseed, that's who generally I end up talking to. So I hope this is helpful for you guys to kind of understand what is happening. Hi, Danielle. Hi, you guys that are joining. There's a lot of people that are going to be coming into more abrupt states of awakening now, because what's happening specifically now with this equinox is, we all go through our spiritual awakening at some point, right? It's that moment where you realize that you are more than just your body, that you are connected to the whole, that you actually have an impact on your reality, that, angels do exist, that your loved ones went into a reality that you can actually have access to, and that, there's more than just to what we see. And you start to seeing things, you start to see the matrix, you start to see the system, you start to see the manipulation of the entire school, church, all of the things, system of the education, all of that. And like your entire structural world crumbles. You are like, what in the actual hell? Like, what does this mean? Why have I been fed a bunch of lies? Like blah, 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 blah. And you start to take control of your life, and you start to realize that you are the only person that is in charge of your own healing, right? And you've got to figure out these questions, and you've got to figure out these answers to your questions, because otherwise your soul will not let you rest. And then you start going into this like Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole where you're like, what is this? Why am I seeing flashes of light? Why am I hearing sounds? Why am I seeing, all these things? Why am I having these experiences? And, you start seeing all of the numbers and the codes start triggering you, and then angel cards, and then you start getting into esoteric things, and you start understanding kind of astrology, and you start looking into numerology and astrology, right? And it just kind of starts to become this like rabbit hole of like, oh my gosh, I never knew the truth about things, and what has happened, and how do I find balance with that in my world, and the world that, my world as in the world that you're currently living in, because they feel like they're two separate worlds. And so the job that we're doing right now is we are shifting over, but we still have to integrate, right? Life, because we're still, paying bills and living in a concrete home, and, these things, as we are merging into the light field, and as we're bringing into our physical body, our light body. And so it's big work that we are doing. And if you sometimes feel like you're going insane or you're losing your mind, you're not losing your mind, you're not going insane. The things are happening for real. They really are happening. You're not just hearing things, you're not just seeing things. And I know sometimes we know this, but sometimes I feel like we need to be reminded these things. And it's becoming more and more real, right? You can see it in everything. And it's now even in, the disclosure is starting to happen in the news, like with the whole storming of Area 51 and like all these things that are coming out. So it's becoming real. It's becoming, not just the thing that we talk about in the negative, like, it's impossible to think that we are the only ones in the universe, because that's kind of what we've been saying all along. It's like in the negative, like there is just no way to think that there is nothing else out there. So we're saying this whole thing in the negative. Now it's like we're actually saying like, hey, there's a solid chance there's life outside of planet Earth. Hey, we may have cousins on other planets. Like we're actually saying it in the positive, which is a big deal, and it's a big step forward, is the acknowledgement of the fact that not that it does not actually exist, but that it does, right? In the actual thing of it. And so these encounters in the light body, in the dream state, in the higher consciousness, are starting to become more and more evident, more and more like normal for everyone. And so if these things are starting to happen to you, and you're starting to not notice like different phenomenons that are happening in your life, it's just the thinning of the fabric between dimensions. It's thinning. It's like you can see through, you can feel through things more and more. So needed this. Thanks for the reminder. Oh, good. I'm glad. Me too. I needed the reminder. Absolutely, you guys. Sometimes we just say things much needed. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys could use that. Sometimes, I just say things we're inspired to say because we're all in the same boat. Boat, aka Mother Earth. So remember that and take time to really go inside. No matter what, no matter if you have a coach, a spiritual teacher, if you're following me, if you've been following me for a long time, if you've taken any of my courses, I always tell you guys this, okay? Ultimately, it is all inside of you. Anything that I do in the meditations and my courses and the teachings is to activate this knowledge inside of you, is to coach you, to show you the way, to teach you like the different technology on how to access these higher states of consciousness, of how to activate yourself in different ways, so that you can perceive more, so that you know what's happening, so that you have access to, that higher consciousness. And yeah, of course, you guys. Thanks for the love. I see you. Love your lives. Thank you. Thank you for explaining. Yes, absolutely. This is what my soul came here to do. So I love explaining. I love helping. And I love to give back. And it's amazing that, I've been able to really transition from the corporate world to doing this full time now. And I absolutely love it. So what else can I tell you guys before Instagram cuts us out? I'm looking at the time. Take time in silence. The more you take time for yourself to access yourself, your inner being, Abraham Hicks calls it your inner being, right? Or your higher self, or your heart, your consciousness, your higher consciousness. But physically drop into your heart, okay? And then activate your third eye point. And this is really where you do the work, is you have to start to get to know yourself. Nobody can really know you the way you know yourself. You came here to get to know this body. Your soul is here to really live in this body, to take this body and transform it into a light body, right? We have a big job. And the more work you start doing, the more you start to get to know yourself, and you transmute things in the things that you say and the feelings, right? So in everything, think of everything around you as like an intake from, the 3D world. So are you really watching things that are elevating you? Are you eating foods that are nourishing your physical body? Are you reading books that are uplifting your spirit? Or are you just wasting time and being entertained on planet Earth, right? So, and not that we don't need, some hey, fun time, absolutely. But for the majority of time, think about how you're spending your days. And if you're nurturing your mind, body, spirit, soul, or if you're not, is what you're doing making you smarter, or is it making you dumber? Sorry, that sounds very basic, but it's kind of one of those things. So choose things that are elevating, right? That lift you. And when you have conversations, this is something that Gary, my mentor, taught me, have conversations that add value. If you're going to have a conversation with people that is just spinning old energy around, like when people gossip, that energy goes like this, right? It's just BS being recirculated, and then because other people want to be cool or include in the conversation, or maybe because you're not doing anything else and you join this conversation, you're like, sure, let's talk about this shit. Don't do that. Just excuse yourself, go do something else. There's no reason for you to feed into energy loops that keep you stuck into lower timelines. That's literally what happens. So when you feed thoughts, when you feed friends, when you feed patterns that are lower vibrational, you are spinning your energy in lower vibrational fields, which means you're unable to lift yourself higher. So catch yourself feeling lower vibrational feelings, transmute them, bring yourself up. So if you're feeling bored is not a good feeling. You want to level up. Okay, you want to feel curious, you want to feel eager, you want to feel inspired. So you want to like literally like lift up. If you feel sad, if you feel depressed, Gary always says, what are you depressing? Like, what are you not looking at, right? So figure out how to like deal with that, bring it up, okay? Don't depress shit, deal with shit, okay? We're in charge of our own state of being. So lift your emotions up. Do you see how I keep doing this? If you feel low, right? Look at it. Don't stay there, right? Raise yourself up. If you're feeling angry, right? Use that energy. There's a lot of energy in anger. Spiral it up, right? Our energy works in a spiral. Go upwards, spin yourself up to higher timelines, better frequencies. Listen to songs that lift your energy up. Don't listen to songs that demean your state of being or your consciousness. There's a lot of that out there, right? So pay attention to everything. Everything is an intake, okay? Everything, you're intaking everything. This is how we're made. So make sure you put yourself as your own first priority and feed your light. Because if you feed your darkness, how are you going to shine? So feed your light, okay? So bring in light, breathe in light. I always say in my courses, breathe in light like you're putting on pants, right? Or putting on underwear, whatever it is that you wear in the morning. Like connect to your light, bring in your light, right? There's a lot that's happening and a lot that's shifting. After this equinox, it's a huge vibrational shift on planet Earth. So everyone's chakras are going to be melted into one, per se. Not really melted, but they're going to be unified. If you haven't gone through the process of clearing through old belief systems, chakra by chakra, so energy by energy, right, where they're stored, it's going to be a little bit trickier. If you know how to do it, take the time to do it. Today is a great day to look at this stuff. Because this is what's going to happen is you're going to have to deal with it all at once. And if this is you, it's okay. If you've done the work, kudos, right? This is going to come easier. If you haven't done the work, it means that your soul is in for this ride of doing it all in one shot. And I totally get that, because I am one of these people where sometimes shit has to hit the fan like real in my face so that I see it. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready for this thing. Let's do it all in one. So if that's you, right, everything is going to have to clear out all together. From your belief systems, from your safety to your creativity, any sex hangups, any like sexual creativity blocks right here, any things that have to do with your willpower, with your mission in life, with your heart, with tears in your heart, with love received, with love given, with subconscious. I can't see this. I don't know how to interpret that, right? From your receiving messages, your third eye sight, my thing is blocked, I can't activate my pineal gland, I don't know how to open my third eye. All of these things, okay, they're all going to come up. Anything that is stuck inside, that is not flowing through in a pillar, is going to come up. So spin it out, okay? Use the energy spin and spin it out. I think I'm going to do a crash course on this in October. I have to consult with my team, but I feel like if you haven't done this, it's so important that you actually do this and that you clear through these belief systems, because otherwise you're going to feel like, when you're on a boat and it's really like the sea or the ocean is like going crazy and you're just like trying to get grounded and you're trying to like not puke. That's kind of going to be that feeling, because our pillar is merging. It's becoming one diamond light pillar, and that's already happened for a lot of people. For a lot of people it's in the process, and for a lot of people it still has to happen. And so it just depends on the wave of awakening that you're in and your level of awareness too. So I see that you guys have questions. How do I talk to people on my job who don't understand this stuff? That is a great question. So to know, how do I add value to conversation? So just know if you can feel it. So if you feel like you're going to say something that's going to feed into nothingness, just notice the energy of what you're saying, right? But if you're saying something like, Adding value is like, for example, if you see someone that's having a hard day and you can tell them how beautiful they look, right? Don't hold that back. You can tell them, oh my gosh, you look absolutely beautiful today. That adds value. That adds to, where they're at. Or if you have something positive to say, generally that's like holding, adding value. That's a very general rule. But if you're saying positive things that uplift, that's adding value. My body has been thrown off since yesterday. Is this why possible? Absolutely, Alexander. Yes, because the entire energy field, the magnetic field of the earth is being recalibrated. And so this is kind of what is happening. And so go and do the meditation in my Facebook group. It's linked in my stories and the replay is up. So that will definitely help you. Chakras going through some ish and adjusting. Yes. Absolutely, that's what's happening. Oh, how I love you, sister. I love you guys. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I am glad that helped. So head over to the Facebook group. There's a meditation. This is what we call the tools and doing the work. And hopefully, I like to think that I make it fun because we go to the astral planes to do this work. So I don't like to do boring things, but I definitely take my light work seriously because I know the difference that it makes, right? So my meat bag is really heavy right now. So you're feeling the densities. So you're feeling, you just need to like spin things out. So go and clear things out. It's stuff when you feel like that, when you feel like your body is very heavy, you feel like you have like a meat suit, right? You have to integrate. The light has to penetrate through the cells. You have to activate your DNA. So you have to integrate. The goal here is to feel light inside of your physical body. So do you have any reading suggestions on Kundalini awakening? See, the thing is, I was taught everything by my angels. I think at one point, I looked at a book. If I find it, it's hard for me to find things that match the level of things that I know. But look at Yogi Bhajan. So if you look up Kundalini and Yogi Bhajan, that is definitely going to be things that are in alignment. So that will be good. And yeah, so the way that it generally works for me is I meditate a lot and I leave space for learning. So I don't just meditate to get things out or to actually actively do something. I actually listen, right? If you do it enough, you get to this point where your light family will show up and they will teach you things. And then you learn things and then you're shown things and then you see things. And then I learn this way. And then when I find a book, it's a confirmation. So I don't learn through books or like other people's writings. I generally learn this way. And then I receive confirmations through other places. But that's how I know. A lot of times if you talk to me or if you work with me, I'll tell you what the angels or what the beings look like. And I'll tell you, if you Google them, you find lots of different art. And I'll always know the one that is accurate because that's how I see them. So yes, Betsy is saying, go to 3ho.org. Yogi Bhajan. Oh my gosh. I need to drink water. Thank you, Betsy. How do I talk to people who don't understand this stuff? Okay, sorry. That was like one of your 2 questions, Ciara. Thanks for repeating it. So it depends. There's a saying in Italian. I don't know if it's the same in English, but it's saying like, don't give pearls to the pigs, something like that. I don't know if it translates to English, but basically it's like if you talk about sacred things with people that have no concept of no reference of them, they don't know what to do with them. You can give them a refined pearl, you can give them a rare, beautiful pearl or a diamond, but if they don't know what it is, they won't accept it, right? And then you're going to feel like, what the? So you have to talk to people at the level at which they're able to understand you. You can talk to, Gary teaches us to talk to people's highest nobility. So visualize them, see them as their highest noble self and talk to them in that way. But be careful because certain things that are deep things, like, the things that we're talking about here, sometimes they're so raw and so sacred inside that they don't find resonance in another person. And when that happens, like that can, I don't want to say backfire, but almost energetically like hurt you if you're not ready to just stand in, in what you know. So you have to just trust your instincts on that, of saying little things here and there and seeing if people can handle them and if they're well received, because otherwise it's like wasted energy. So you also don't want to do that. Nava, what do I do if I didn't get to finish the meditation? Go back and go to part 2. And what you want to do in short is spin yourself back through using a gravity clockwise energy spins, because that brings you back to gravity. So you want to breathe yourself back through your crown chakra, and then find yourself at your heart, ground yourself through your feet, connect back down to the heart of Mother Earth. So make sure you breathe your consciousness back into your body, okay? And I guide you through that in the part 2. It's now up in the group. So just go and find it. That's for all of you guys that did the meditation in the Facebook group. So, yes. Kundalini Exposed. Thank you, Christina, for sharing. Anybody that's looking for that. I had a dream that I saw through someone. Is this part of what's going on? That you saw through someone, like seeing through somebody else. Yeah, you're probably seeing through somebody else's eyes. It sounds like it's part of recalibration. Love Guru Jagat. Yes, Danielle. Sometimes I just can't think. Guru Jagat, Invincible Living is a great book on Kundalini. I don't know that it necessarily talks about Kundalini awakening, but has great meditations in it. Yes, Guru Jagat is awesome. All right, pearls to pegs. Yes, okay, so this saying does work. All right. Barbara Hand Cloud, a stellar book called Saturn, Pluto, and Kundalini. Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. That sounds like exactly what's happening right now. Amazing. Metatron's Cube. Yes. Ground to the crystals. Yes. Ground to the crystals in the earth. Find your energy. Henry reminded me of that today. And so in the meditation, or yesterday, in the meditation that we did today in the Facebook group, so thank you, we actually did, beyond connecting to the heart of Mother Earth, we grounded into the crystals that hold the essence and the energy. And so really it allows for your energy field to open up and to flow like even more. So try it out. Again, go to the Facebook group. The meditation will be up. Catch the replay. I love you guys. Message me if you have questions. I'm going to make sure everybody has access now, and everybody's requests got approved. When we have solar flares and, Saturn and the moon and the sun and the equinox, there's so many energies that are going on. So we're doing the best that we can. Make sure you take time for you either way. And I will continue to update you. All right. I love you all. Have a beautiful equinox evening, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Love you guys.